Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ready, Set, Action. Today, you're joining Deborah Horowitz and myself, Christina Whitmer. This should be a good one. We're going to discuss 3 actionable tips for hyper-local targeting. A little bit about small business, local market, community, some things like that. So, we're looking forward to chatting with you today. Hi, Dee. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm ready for this one. So, Deb, looking forward to today. You want to kick us off with tip number 1?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so many times when we're starting out in our consulting business or a small business, we're looking at the world as my oyster and where can I market and where's my target audience going to be? And in many cases, it is right here in our backyard. And we don't often think about that as a viable approach. So I'm really excited to talk about this whole hyper local targeting today. And so my tip number one would be really to take a look at how to forge those local community partnerships. And from that, look at the local businesses that are in the market, in your marketplace locally. Are there opportunities to, like, maybe co-host an event where you can both get branded visibility? Is there opportunity for cross promotions? So for me, being in the talent acquisition consulting space, I look to partner with consultants that do complementary types of services, but
Mm-hmm.
we're both probably targeting the same type of companies. And that way we can share leads and things of that nature, bring each other in to provide the services that we cannot offer, to just let the client know that, yes, we have resources and we trust these partners that
Mm-hmm.
we're working with. You can also look at getting visibility by sponsoring a local sports team. Everybody's got the practice fields and either the baseball or football fields that have those banners up there. And they're up there for a reason because they get traction. Think about how to get involved in that. Even looking at getting involved in local charities like Habitat for Humanity or something like that, where you're giving of your time. It's not so much a cost from a financial standpoint, but you're gathering with other like members in the community. And they'll remember that. They'll remember that we were all together doing this one house type of
Mm-hmm.
project or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. And they'll remember you when they come across somebody that needs your solution. So it's those types of things, any kind of local networking that you can get involved with. I'm a big fan of the chamber, but
Mm-hmm.
there's other business network groups that are in your local community that may not be as big of an investment as a chamber membership might be. So really look around and see what's available. And then I guess the last point with that would be also turn the table and say, is there a promotion that I can offer to a specific portion of the community,
Mm-hmm.
and give them a discount if they use my service and bring it in that way. One of my friends started pet sitting last year,
Mm-hmm.
and so she just had 1 or 2 dogs in the beginning that were coming, and she formed her own community group that first started on Facebook, and then it became this thing where she would organize these different meetups, whether it was first day of school for the moms that were sending all the kids back to school to come and have brunch, together in this one local restaurant and different things like that. She started doing that last year, and now she's like completely booked for 3 months ahead, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. It takes, a little bit of time, but you get that movement going and it really make a difference.
I always think that's a business that's really challenging to scale because you've got yourself and then you have to translate. In that kind of business, you have to figure out, are you going to be this large and you're going to stay there? But if you're going to grow, you're going to have to adopt principles and training and be very liability, licensing, insurance. Like you really have to go another level, I think. So
Yes.
I always think I've seen people do that, and that the scalability, that one's pretty interesting to me. But I
Yeah.
wanted to comment. You were talking about community. I think of all the tips today, this is the one where you have to be willing to go talk to people, which just sounds
Yes.
funny, right? But it's definitely the one where you have to make a little bit of an effort and get out there and say, whether it's a chamber event, if you push yourself, like a Toastmasters thing, like you have to give yourself a nudge to do it. And don't think of it as sales, think of it as, how can I help? How can I help the
Yeah.
community? If you set your mindset, I think it helps, but it can be tricky if people are super gun shy about how do they take that first step.
Yeah, it really does. You have to have like your elevator pitch down,
Mhm.
right? And then once you get that down, you can just concentrate on, asking more questions about the other person. What is it they do? What is it they need? What are they seeing in the happening in the community? And really be more of an information gatherer
Mhm.
necessarily than a salesperson,
Right.
right? Because if you
Mhm.
show interest in that other person, then they're going to have a really great feeling about you,
Mhm.
that you really do care and you're not just there to give you a 30-second spiel and
Mhm.
like rapid fire go around and shake all these hands kind of
Right.
thing.
Right.
But
Right.
really, just start with the relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I have probably done been doing networking for a long time, but that's it takes a while to get to evaluate what's the most productive use of your time, because you can get drained and energy and time real fast if you don't start realizing, okay, what am I hoping to get from this, and what how can I learn and improve and things like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You do have to go in with a goal in mind
Hmm.
as to what you're going to achieve while you're there, and then also critique it afterward and
Right.
find out, just self-examine, right? And
Hmm.
say, okay, did I accomplish this? Or what
Hmm.
would I do differently the next time? Or is this the right group for me? Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you'll go to a meeting and like the chamber near me when I started, they had just an opportunity for you to come and just see what it was all about. And you
Right.
didn't, it was
Yeah.
totally free. They
Yeah.
just invited you in. That gave you an opportunity to see there's 10 chambers in my area. Right?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh
So,
yeah, no, same. Yeah.
which one is the one that I
Hmm.
want to belong to, right? And so
Yeah.
it takes some analysis for sure.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And maybe ask on your LinkedIn group connections, where what do people suggest? Because then people can bring you as a guest sometimes before you make any commitments as well, for a lot of those. So that's probably a nice way. And that's actually, if you do that post, hey, does anybody know? It opens a door to you wanting to be a partner, and you make it even more than you bargained for with those kind of ideas. So cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
And
nice.
you know what? Don't be afraid to also contact a competitor,
Hmm. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
because sometimes in the local market, if they get, this big bulk of business from a client, they
Yep.
may need help,
Mhm.
especially if they're another solopreneur.
Mhm.
And they're going to want to turn to somebody that knows the business too
Yep.
and can maybe come in and pitch in and get a certain percentage of the
Mhm.
overall pie. So definitely be thinking about that and don't be
Mhm.
afraid to do that as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to double down on what you just said and say there is a lot of, especially when it comes to the local community, of people who are competitors in business, but they are also working together to elevate the industry as a whole, or maybe have standards of service or things like that. So there is a lot of opportunity, because when you really look at the numbers, there is usually a lot of business, especially pet sitters. I know there's like tons of business, right? So if
Yeah.
you could be part of a group that wants to elevate the standards in pet sitting, like you're going to see competitors, but it's a great opportunity to elevate yourself as well. So I like that. So very good. Cool.
Yeah. So what do you have for us for tip number 2?
So I'm going to take, for tip number two, I'm going to go a little bit into the optimization of stuff. Like a lot of times, the number one thing here is Google My Business. So your Google My Business listing. So what happens is, if you're not familiar, when you do a Google search, typically you're going to see local things pop up first. So if no matter what you're searching for, it's going to show you local things. So obviously, if I'm searching for pet sitting, for some reason that's our topic today. So if I'm searching for pet sitting, or if I'm searching for a plumber, like it's going to find my local resources. That's the logical thing, unless I search for a specific city. So with that in mind, look at your Google My Business, make go to it. You can, when you search for your company name, it'll say if it's claimed or not. If it's not even claimed, just click that and claim it. And then once you have control, add pictures of, if you don't have a physical location for pet sitting, you would have pictures of you with some pets, right? Some dog walks, right? Maybe a leash. Like just have some pictures, let people know who you are. Fill out the description, fill out your hours, fill out how do they book something with you. Start to fill that in, and what you want to do is start to build your reviews as well. So there's a link on Google My Business. You can email people and say, hey, I hope you had a good experience, please do this. Or if you have colleagues who just know your level of professionalism, you can ask them to do reviews as well, and just make sure they're authentic. So you don't have to lie and say they watched my dog when you don't have a dog, but you can say they're always been responsible, punctual in everything that we've done when we work together. That's a very true, honest thing, and it speaks to character. So the Google My Business, there's a lot you can do with it. So there's services you can list. So if you do walking, sitting, overnights, cat stuff, like whatever you do, fill that out and put those details in there. Because the more you match what people are searching for. So I want a cat sitter, right? So if
Yeah.
you do that, put that in there too. Don't have to do pet or dog or whatever. Try to get all of those things. And then definitely just fill out the descriptions, anything that you have. A lot of people in pet sitting do like medications and things that
That's
they'll
true.
do, things they can't do. Get your reviews up, look at the pictures that you have on there. Another thing that you can work with friends and colleagues to do is, on Google My Business, you can actually ask a question to the business. So for example, can't get the pet sitting out of my head, but if you were doing that and we were working on your business together, Dee, I would say, oh, hey, I'm going to ask you a question on Google. I'm going to say, hey, will you give my cat insulin? Is that something you're comfortable doing? You could respond on Google, and that's a permanent Q&A that is everybody can see. So you can feed questions that you want people to know. Do you do overnights? Will you tuck my dogs? Whatever it is, like you can start to feed questions and really
Mhm.
fill that out and start getting that engagement, especially with local. That's my number one top thing, is really make sure that Google My Business is solid. And I would put everything there, because regardless of how people live, if it's on TikTok or Facebook or LinkedIn or different things, the searching for solutions is still quite at the top, right? When I'm searching for a service, especially when you think of Google Maps, which is all tied into Google My Business, right? So that map listing is exactly tied into this detail that I've been talking about. You probably have some other ones. Like for me, there's Clutch, is like a directory service of top agencies and things like that. So look at pet sitting solutions. Do some searches. If you see some directories, right, that come up, go and see if it's free. Does it cost? Is
Yeah.
it worth it? If it's top, it might be worth it. So start looking, making a list of directories, and see if you want to be there and see if you want to pay to be there. Then the same thing applies, just like Google. I would do that secondary, right? To after you're done with
Yeah.
your Google stuff. Then you've got your social platforms, right? I would choose the ones you want, and then think about your audience a little bit. So if it's Facebook, great. If it's TikTok, great. Just think about the audience based on who you think your customer will be, not so much where you are interested. Instagram's
Mhm.
probably a nice place for a certain age group, maybe a little older than the TikTok group. So just think about who wants to pay you for these services and try to place your audience, whether it's LinkedIn or whatever. So I don't know. Anything pop up for you in that local space online?
I think again, I would look at those complementary services.
Mm,
So if I'm a pet sitter, I might talk to grooming services.
mm-hmm.
So I can search online to find out like who's in the local market that does something like that,
Right.
because people will ask for recommendations from others, veterinarians that,
Yeah, I was just gonna
you
say
know,
I've done that, like asked for recommendations a lot from that. Yeah.
yeah, for those trusted people, that kind of credibility just naturally will transfer over to you, even if you've never met them before, by having that referral.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if like a place like a vet is not going to just refer you without knowing you. So you may have to get to know them.
Mhm.
You may have to
Yes.
follow them on social, connect. You may have to share some of the things you've been doing. Like just know that I wouldn't want my vet just recommending someone that just asked. So I would
Right.
hope that those recommendations are valid and vetted. So don't be
Absolutely.
surprised if you don't have to prove it a little bit. Just figure out how it is you're going to make that, how you're going to prove
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Good point.
cool.
Good.
So rolling into tip number 3, what do you have for us?
So tip number 3 is really about location targeting on social
Mm-hmm.
media, right? So location and, I guess really Facebook, Instagram, they've probably got the best way of doing that. Google Ads, you could target to the location specifically, but
Mm-hmm.
set up a plan as to how you're going to target. You could also look at Nextdoor for localized type of advertising opportunities. But when you're advertising, doesn't necessarily always have to be about you.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to put something out there to promote a local event. Maybe there's a charity walk that's coming up. We've got them like every weekend here in Florida. Somebody's always raising money for something. How can you promote that? And promote that you're going, take some pictures after you as you're part of the community event and
Mm-hmm.
post that. Just really try to generate some local user generated content
Mm-hmm.
to really help you embrace the community and the community to embrace you.
Right.
Again, it's the different types of formats, the videos, the pictures, the carousels, the stories, all of that kind of goes into the mix, but you're staying very locally targeted,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd really be surprised at how much you'll actually the visibility will bolster from doing little things like that.
And I think you can align your, whether it's a 5K walk, charity walk, or whatever it is, with whatever your business is. I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of opportunities there, whether it's in health or whatever, SPCA and that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody is very concerned about the impact to the climate. So if you can tie that into what you're delivering from a service or solution point of view, and then wrap some events around that kind of mirror what your brand image is and what's most important to you from your values and community involvement. I think that really starts to make a positive statement out there with your brand.
yeah, I'm wondering any other like for you, have you had any wild or unexpected experiences with local and networking and things like that? Things that worked for you that you didn't expect to?
I think the one, it was a few years ago, but the Habitat for Humanity really stood out to me. I made some friends from actually being involved in that. And I wasn't expecting that. It was my first time, didn't know what to expect. Didn't even know if I could do anything that was going to be asked of me.
Can
I'm
you
not,
hold a hammer? Is that
not
what
so
you're
great
saying?
with power tools, okay? But
That's
they're
funny.
very gentle with you in case you've never done
Hmm.
one.
I've done one once. It was actually a really good experience, and maybe now that it's cooling down, maybe now's the time to look into another one because summer, I
Yes.
don't think I'm built for that anymore. But
Yeah, I'm pretty good at painting and
mm,
okay with the hammer. That's about the scope of it.
in
But
moderation.
I think that those types of bonding opportunities really do stand out, and people remember you. They'll see you in the grocery store and they're like, "Hey, last month weren't you at that event or whatever?" So,
Hmm.
I don't think you should ever minimize the impact. Go in with an open mind about
Yeah.
what is going to happen as a result of
Hmm.
it. Yeah, you can go in with a plan, but be flexible,
Yeah.
go with the flow, because it's just more about putting yourself out there, putting your brand out there.
Yeah.
And I think you had alluded to the fact that maybe not everybody is comfortable putting themselves out there. So
Hmm.
nobody would believe that I was really shy when I was younger, but I was
Yeah.
very, like, if you said hello to me, I'd probably run away. But I found that when you put that armor up, you say, I'm not really presenting me, I'm presenting my brand.
Hmm. Hmm.
It
A
gives you
solution you believe in, right?
a level of
Yeah.
confidence, that you may not have to shake that hand first and start
Hmm.
that conversation first. So hopefully that will help
Hmm.
some. We've got a lot of introverts that are also solopreneurs and entrepreneurs.
Sure.
And so I know it's
Hmm.
especially difficult for them. And so
Very
hopefully that tip will
true.
help a little bit. Yeah, I think that was the only thing that I was really going for with tip number 3. It doesn't always have to be national campaigns. Really focus
Yeah.
in on hyperlocal
Mhm.
and give it a good run. What would be a time frame that you would suggest for somebody to put effort into a hyperlocal
Yeah,
campaign?
honestly, I would for over a 3 to 6 month period, I would actually probably I would want to do quite a bit of time. And part of that time being attending local events, which is a huge chunk of time. And for me, also a bit introverted at times. But when I think about the business, is this other armor or face, as you were saying, because it's about solving people's problems. It's a team, it's bigger than me. There's all these other things that come into play. But I really think that I think you should set a period of time, 2 months maybe, where you're going to go to as many events as you can, as many as you can
Yeah.
actually handle, and get really a sense of was it worth it or not. And you can also control a little bit of that too. Like when you meet someone, if you think, say, it's a quick meeting, right? Hi, this is me, this is what I do, make a coffee. You can plan to say, hey, would you like to meet for coffee? I'd love to learn more about your
Yes.
business. So if you find it's a good match like that, then what you want to do is set those, make that, say it out loud, and then plan to do it. Because what's going to happen then is you're going to have networking event and you're going to have 4 coffees over the next 2 weeks. So it gets pretty full schedule wise, but I would
Mhm.
recommend you either do that for a period of time or you do an event, a couple of events, and then you switch them up if you like drop one that you don't think is very good. So something like that, make it part of your, especially honestly, the first year, there's a lot of networking. So,
Yeah, I did the same. Yeah.
mhm.
I think that if you can mentally prepare for it to go for the 12 months, do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. All right. So just to recap what we talked about today, we've got community partnerships, right? We've got that local SEO, Google My Business directory angle. And then we've got this targeted advertising, geofencing. I think on Facebook, you can target whether someone is there, not where they live. So if I'm at a
Right.
store and I'm next to a sub shop, like you're
Yeah.
targeting me because I'm in that space. So all of those things that makes up our 3 tips. So take a look, jot them down and start working on these things, and there's a lot in these tips, I do I do admit, but start working on those and we'll look forward to hearing some feedback from our team of people who are working through their small business challenges. So thank you guys for joining us. I hope you'll see us next time for Ready Set Action. It's Deborah Horowitz and Christina Whitmer. You can follow us on LinkedIn. There's some links here. We're also on YouTube and Spotify. So hopefully you will tune in and stay. We'll see you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.